Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Cho Streams. We're just going to be going over how to build your Glaciette. I've had a few comments on the previous video, my first look, people asking how to build her. So I'm just going to go over what exactly to wear. And it's going to be more or less a continuation of what I started to say on the first look. So let's go ahead right into it. All right, so if we head into the growth manual for the Glaciette, it's going to show her what armor type, the name of the weapon, and the damage type. So Glaciette, you're going to need to focus on the magic element, and then she's also going to be focused on the crayon. For the medium armor, you are also going to be focusing, well, the armor itself will always be medium for her, so you don't have to worry about it. And the armor itself will come with a passive buff. So the passive buff is going to be when you're wearing your medium armor, you gain a few additional attributes. These attributes are going to be affected by the level of your armor and the enhancement level. So currently, I have my armors all upgraded to level 15. And at 15, I'm getting intelligence plus 174, physique 174, crit damage plus 8.7%, and a crit enhance of plus 20.9. All right, and next we're going to move on to the core passive skills of the Glaciette. She's going to have two of them, one called Puppeteering, where after casting certain skills, the marionette becomes detached and functions as an independent source of damage, while also increasing your finisher damage. The second one is going to be called Bone Cutting Cold. When detached, the marionette's hits inflict marks on enemies, and damage to mark enemies increase. This will also have a multiplier, but we'll come back to this one when we're testing and showing the skills. All right, so next, when it comes to building your Glaciette, this is the sort of end gear you want to get to with your level 60 equipment. You're gonna see I am still running the 5-piece class bonus. So we're gonna be using 2 cavalry, and then we're gonna be using one of the famine, 2 of the filth, 1 warmonger, and we're gonna also stick to 1 class on accessory, so we still get the 5-piece plus from it. And I'm gonna go over why exactly we're gonna do it like this. All right, so if we start with the 5-piece class set, the 2-piece itself, when detached, will give us a plus 16% damage increase and an energy consumption of minus 20%. The 4-piece will give us a skill damage of plus 3.9%. And again, once detached, you're going to gain an additional 18% skill damage and a plus 30 attack speed increase for 20 seconds. Now, when linked, energy regeneration rate is going to be plus 30%. And then the 5-piece is going to offer a crit damage increase of plus 6.0%. And then when you cast in skills when detached, increase crit damage by 8% for 15 seconds. And this is going to stack 4 times. And lastly, when you enter your linked again, you're going to recover max HP equal up to 5% per stack. So that's why we're going to be using the 5. It's going to be a massive crit damage bonus. That's what I'm saying. Initially, you can start by focusing on your magic attack, your magic crit, your cryo enhance, and leave crit damage alone. As long as you're around the 150, 160 range, once your 5-piece effect kicks in, you are probably going to be boosted anywhere between 190 to about 200%. All right, now let's move on to the necklace. For the necklace, I believe the next BIS is going to be the famine necklace. As with this one, we are going to get a cooldown rate of plus 30. We're going to get the all attribute enhance of plus 15, skill damage of plus 8%. And then when you have 4 more skills that are on cooldown, it's the hunger skate, giving you an additional cooldown rate of plus 50, which is going to enable you to get your skills a lot quicker off of cooldown. So quicker your cooldown, the more attacks you can get off. It'll also give you a bonus for additional flat attack bonus of plus 10%. So best in slot for me is going to be the famine necklace. All right, so next we're going to move over to the bracers of felt. Bracers are going to give you a massive flat magic crit rate upgrade of 7%. Will give you a damage to bosses of 6% and a damage debuff of up to 3% as well. The additional corrupted sky will deal damage as a 5% chance to apply 1 stack of Fallen Tenth. That one, not as important. This is where we're going towards upgrade for the ring that we're going to move to next. When you get Fallen Tenth, damage towards enemies are plus 5%. Okay, so let's go directly to the ring next. And here we are. So this is going to be the Ring of Filth. So with the Bracer applying Foul Intent, the ring is going to have Venomous Aura. So when the enemies with Foul Intent nearby, you get a crit rate bonus of 5% and a crit rate damage up to 10%. So that's the bonus of there being applied. And then the damage to poison enemies are going to be additional 8%. So both of them are going to work hand in hand. You'll also get a flat damage bonus up to 8% with the ring and a crit damage of up to 10%. It's going to get managed penalty 8% and a attack speed of plus 30. So again, all in all, both together are going to work really well. And now lastly, I have decided to go for the Talisman of the Warmonger. Warmonger is going to be additional damage. When using your Finisher Resonance skill or pet skill, gain some stacks for your Stigmata of Sin. For each stack, you get a massive owl attribute bonus enhance up to 30. And then at 10 stacks of Stigmata, you summon the Warmonger Spears for every 15 seconds. Now let's move on to the circuits. For the circuits, it's going to be pretty straightforward if you do run a DPS class. For some of the main attributes, you're going to be want to run on your weapon, your necklace, your bracelet, and your ring. Are going to be main attribute attack. For your talisman and seals, you're going to be want to running your cryo enhance. For the sub attributes, in the priority, I'd say you want to try and get magic crit. You want to try either get your cryo enhance, depending on how high it is already. You may have your what's it called, those insignias. You've got insignias and your Andreas, they're probably fairly decent high already. If it's not, then you want to prioritize getting cryo enhance. If you already have it high enough, you want to get magic attack cooldown. Crit damage, if you are under 150, try and get a little higher. But magic crit, you generally want to be above 80% for this. All right, next we move to the helmet. We're going to want your main attribute to be either crit rate, crit damage, depending on how your stats are set. Your breastplate and pants, unfortunately, you don't have a choice. It will be base HP. But for the sub attributes, again, you want to try and focus magic crit and crit damage based off of how your build is set. Cryo enhance, cooldown rate, and then magic attack are going to be very important. And then the gloves and then the pants, again, going to be crit rate / crit damage. Just have a check on your build and just choose the which one that's going to be more suited for you. And then just kind of say one more time. Crit rate, you want to try and get your build over 80. Crit damage, try and get that over 150. All right, so the reason we are going to want to have a very high crit rate, I'm just going to showcase it right here. So if you check my attribute stats right now, my crit rate is going to be, magic crit is going to be 92.1%. My crit damage is currently 168.8%. All right. And now let's go ahead and activate her 5-piece passive. All right, so if we go back to attributes and check to see how much that's buffed us, we are now at 210% crit damage. So the higher your crit rate, and you're able to crit almost each time, you're going to be dealing massive damage with the crit damage buff. And then let's go ahead and show you again. See here, it's going to be Marionette's Mark. Earlier I was discussing for a passive. This is going to be it in effect here. So this one's going to be the one with the multiplier, the counter mark. So it's going to be a 3 times multiplier starting at 7%. So it's going up to 7, 14, 21% damage. And then you're going to get the 5-piece buff, giving you a crit damage increase. And then you're also going to be getting crit damage from your weapon, assuming you do have the Tenebrous. There you go, 5-piece again, going to give you 32% buff. It's going to be slightly higher because we're able to buff the weapon there. So it's now 214.3%. So all in all, she can dish out some really good damage as long as you're able to get your crit rate up. All right, so let's go ahead and do a quick DPS rotation. What I have noticed, if you want to try and get the maximum amount of Glaciette, you want to try and get detached as fast as possible. There is a level 55 skill called Frostbite. Once you use this skill, you'll immediately become detached, and you can see the meter right underneath here immediately charged up and is slowly draining. Once you detach, I normally find it quite handy to put the level 60 ultimate White Seal. While this ultimate is active, your charge bar will not go down when you're detached. So you're able to do as much damage as possible when this is up. Then when it's drained, you can do the whole attack button. Once you do the uppercut, your charge bar will immediately start filling up. But once you get detached again, it will immediately start draining. So you do be careful on that one and just watch the bar.